Joey from Tullamore in County Offaly has overcome many hurdles in his short life than many of us would ever encounter, and after being diagnosed with a rare condition, his family are now hoping to raise enough money to bring him to the US for life-changing surgery. And Joey's mum, Natalie, is with me here today on the programme. Natalie, thank you for joining us. Just tell us a little bit about Joey's condition and how that diagnosis came about, first of all.
Hi Andrea, how are you? Thanks for having us on.
Good.
So Joey, as you said in the introduction there, he's had a lot going on. I suppose in a way it's kind of all been by chance that he got diagnosed. He got sepsis when he was only 8 months old, a pneumococcal infection, and that can typically lead to like meningitis. So straight away he's sent off for a lumbar puncture and X-rays and blood tests and all the rest. But thankfully didn't progress that far. And during that stay in hospital, it was identified that he has a big spleen and a liver. And then with further investigations in January 23, it led to a diagnosis of this rare condition, portal hypertension. So that came from, he had a clot in his portal vein in his liver, basically, and it's led to this portal hypertension, which causes pressure in the system, basically. And the biggest symptom, or the most life-threatening symptom that we're living with him, is it develops varices, so like varicose veins in his esophagus. And the risk of that is if they bleed, he could literally bleed out on us. And I suppose the numbers show, and research has shown, that on the first bleed there could be 40% chance of fatality with that. And there's no warning signs of that. So I suppose as parents we're living on the edge. Is he going to cough? Is he laughing too hard? Or when is it going to happen? Because it is a matter of when, not if. And I suppose what we're trying to do now is to try and avoid that, avoid a bleeding scenario, avoid another sepsis, because only in March gone by there in 23 we actually nearly lost him to another sepsis infection. Okay. He ended up in Crumlin ICU for 2 weeks and then another week, so we spent 3 weeks up there with him. He was fighting for his life, basically on a ventilator. He got invasive Group A Strep. Like lots of children that got last year, it was going around everywhere. But for Joey and his system and what he deals with every day, it's times 100 when something as small might even be a cough or a cold, or else it could be a strep infection, sepsis infection. His system, it just takes hold of it, and he finds it hard to fight everyday infections, never mind a sepsis. So it was very touch and go for us there last March, and I suppose. Yeah, and it's been a hard old road, and I suppose when we started this road to try and get him the help, I suppose myself and Tommy put it all down together, and I suppose what people are reading now and hearing, I suppose we kind of put it all together like, wow, he's been through a lot. We know he's been through a lot, but when you put it all together in black and white, it's kind of unbelievable, I suppose. And then I suppose as a family, it's kind of unbelievable as well. But we're trying to do our best for him now.
Yeah, he's only 2 years of age.
2, that's all. 2 years and 4 months. And he's had more blood tests, more than I've ever had, or even Tommy put together. The two of us put together. So, we just want to try and do our best for him and try get this surgery in Chicago, which will hopefully, and there's a 90% success rate with it, that if it's done on this healthy system that he currently has, so healthy as it is, he's not bleeding. So I refer to it as his healthy system, that his system isn't under so much pressure at the minute that he's not bleeding, that it is a good system to do the surgery on. If there's a 90% success rate, that his system will go back to normal. So his level of infection with the spleen will all go back to normal. His risk of bleeding will almost disappear. So he won't have any of these life-threatening conditions that he's living with currently, and that we're living with, trying to put out fires left, right and centre. So that's what we're trying to do at the minute, and I think we're slowly getting there with the help of the great people here around us. And the target is 330,000 euros, and I think we're touching the 200,000 mark now, which is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And that's to obviously allow for you and Joey to go to Chicago, to go to the States. How long will the procedure and the post treatment take there, Natalie?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so we're all going to go because we're a very young family, and I think when we went to Crumlin the first time, our little girl Molly was only 3, and she kind of still lives with the trauma of it a little bit. Where's Mum and Daddy going now? Because we did leave her for 2 weeks. She's well cared for, my mum and dad at home, and they've been great, and both Tommy's mum and dad too. just she still lives with, oh, where are you going type thing. So we do want to bring the family with us because they're small. So she's 4 now, and we have a baby who's 6 months old, Jordi. So we have to go over there. So there's a week of investigations and scans to be done, surgery then, which is about 5-hour surgery. It is a major surgery, and I suppose you're kind of saying it in passing that, oh, he's just going to go for surgery in Chicago, but it is a very, it is a big surgery. Obviously, every surgery comes at risk as well, but, it's better than what we're living with now and what he's living with now, so we kind of have to weigh it up, and this would be for the greater good for him. And then I suppose when we're over there, it'd be post-op would be at least 10 days in hospital, and then we spend anywhere from 7 to 10 weeks after that post-op as an outpatient, in and out every couple of days, just to check the bleeding inside and all the rest that they have to do. So I suppose it's a big chunk of our lives that we'll have to go over there for a while, but I think we're willing to go there and sacrifice it and bring the family. So that's what we're planning and hoping to do.
When do you plan to go to Chicago, Natalie?
We're hoping the next 6 months. I think when we were speaking with the hospital, it's there is a provisional date for June, July. So that's in it's in touch and distance, I suppose. And I suppose if things go well with raising the funds, I don't know if we can get there sooner. We'd like to think we can. If it's there and if we're able to, and all the rest. And obviously, the sooner we get there for Joey, the better. Like it just we don't have that risk living with. Is he getting another sepsis or is he going to bleed this time? So it is sooner rather than later. So I suppose once we have our target reached, it's try to get on to the hospital and see, look, is there anything? Look, I suppose in a lot of ways, money talks as well. So, we're hopeful. And look, even if it has to be June, it's not that far away. But obviously when you're living with risks and urgency on our side, you want to be there tomorrow, I suppose. But we will get there.
Where did you hear about this surgery in America? I take it can't be carried out here.
No, it can't, not in Ireland. And it's a great question because it was very random. I suppose when we got the diagnosis, it's so rare, we kind of didn't know a lot about it. We were doing our own research and reading about it. And then I joined a Facebook group, actually, Portal Hypertension for children. And there's like 1,200 people in the group worldwide, which is obviously tiny. And then someone in the group said, look, you're better off joining the adult group, so adults who have it, not parents of kids who have it, because they can obviously answer more questions. So I joined that group and there was more in there. But I suppose that was a combination of adults who have portal hypertension due to cirrhotic liver, so liver disease, whereas Joey doesn't have that. He has a non-cirrhotic portal hypertension. So I know I'm getting very medical here, but I hope people can follow.
Yeah.
So it was in there, and I was asking questions about, anyone who's treated children who have similar situations, and especially we were always writing and trying to figure out, well, our child's had 2 sepsis infections. That's not by chance. I don't think that's unlucky. I think there's something going on here. So there was loads of people in the group said, look, you need to speak to Dr. Sabrina in Chicago. So then, you won't believe it, by chance we were sitting down with friends of ours, and through the cultist, they have their best friend actually is a GP in Chicago, and they're friends of ours, so they reached out. It was all by chance. I was just telling them, they were asking how Joey was. I said, I was talking to someone in Chicago, and we're going to try to get to him and reach to him, or write to him or email or whatever. So they reached out to their doctor friend and Dr. Clota, and she has kind of worked her network, a medical network over there, and a friend of a friend knew his nurse, and that's how we got in touch and got into his world. So we got on a medical call, or kind of a tele-med conference with his nurse, and then we met him just before Christmas there, early December, and that's when we kind of realised we need to get this ball rolling now and launch this fundraiser and get Joey over there. So that's how it really has kind of snowballed in a way, which, there's a good momentum with it. And I suppose the surgeon is quite eager to get Joey over as well, because he's conscious of the sepsis infections and the risk that he is living with. Is
he day to day? Like, what is life like for Joey? Is he in pain at all day to day, Natalie?
That's a good question, and he is. I suppose he's a typical 2-year-old boy in one sense. He's strong-minded. He knows his own mind. He shouts, he gives his sister hell. But on the other side, Joey still isn't walking. He hasn't kind of reached some of those milestones of speech and language and gross motor development. So he's not walking, he didn't crawl for ages. So his belly's quite big because of his big spleen and liver and all that goes on with his tummy at the minute. So that's been against him. You know, if you think about it, he kind of almost has, if you think about a pregnant belly almost in front of him, you know, so that's kind of inhibited him being able to be mobile. And then with day-to-day infections, like even just last week, he woke in the cot and he couldn't catch his breath, he wasn't breathing, and I suppose when he gets an infection, it just takes hold of him and it just knocks him for six. You know, and like he might get a couple of days where he's well, and then another couple of days he could just be fighting another infection. So we know that usually our warning signs, his belly's getting harder or bigger. I don't know how big, you know, is big, you know,
I know.
Keeps getting bigger sometimes.
It's very difficult, Natalie, and I'm sure for you know, at this stage when you've started the fundraising process to get to the States, you nearly just want to get there now, I'm sure at this point. If people want to help out in any way, contribute, donate to the campaign, Natalie, where can they find you?
Yeah, so we're on all the usual social media handles. So like Join Together for Joey, we'll get you there to any of those. And there's links on all those pages. And then if you just want to go GoFundMe directly, then it's we're up there, Join Together for Joey as well. And I suppose I might take the opportunity to thank everyone who has been so amazing so far, with the team of people helping us here as well. And then just everyone locally, just the donations and even the well wishes, the messages, it all means a lot. And the likes and shares and everything. So everyone's just been so good, and I just want to thank them all. Yeah, it's been amazing. Well,
listen, we wish you the very best of luck, Natalie, for yourself and Joey and the family. Do keep in touch, keep us posted if or when you're heading over to Chicago. And as Natalie said, if you want to help out or contribute in any way, you can find the GoFundMe appeal at Join Together for Joey.